This video is brought to you by the FMB shop, where you can find some of the best Scale 400 models. Find the link in the video description below. Now, there are certainly many opinions about the new Condor standard liveries, and here on the channel we've already covered the blue and the yellow one in Scale 500, but today it is the Scale 400 model of NG models with the green standard livery. And how have they managed? Well, we will find out right after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A321-200 of Condor. At the front of the box we have this rendition of the aircraft and incorporated as well the Condor branding. Then the back side of the box is basically the repetition of the front side of the box, so again the rendition and the Condor branding incorporated in it. Nothing majorly spectacular, but I think a decent box design certainly does what it's supposed to do. Now, before we get any further into this review, it is worth mentioning that NG Models does have a loyalty program, and the good thing about this is that you can collect points regardless of you buying the model from a retailer or directly from NG Models. If you want to know more about it, you can pause the video here and read the text on this card. And here she is, the Airbus A321-200 in the green standard livery of Condor. Now, as mentioned, we've already taken a look at the yellow and blue in Scale 500, but now I'm very curious to see how NG Models has managed with the green one, and also to see how they have actually done with the A321 in general. And the best way to find out what's up with this aircraft model is simply by taking a closer look at it, starting off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Condor branding. Notice also how, well, much physical detailing we have, maybe even a tad too much. I mean, the real aircraft does kind of have these elements, but they're maybe not as dominant as here, but I kind of like the attempt of trying to visualize this. Also, the horizontal stabilizers have a lovely mix of physical and printed details. When looking from the side, we can also see we have the marks for the angle of attack, and of course some nicer details in the cabin door, as well as the full registration code and the German flag. Also, towards the very tail of the aircraft, we have some lovely detailing around the APU exhaust. When we move to the front of the aircraft, we can see the generous amount of printed details, and the cabin doors is also continued here at the front of the aircraft. And then, of course, across the fuselage, we also have the writing of Condor and the Condor logo or branding next to the front cabin door. Apart from that, we, of course, also have a plethora of sensors and markings and even some petrol tubes on the side, so that's really lovely. The cockpit section itself then also, of course, has the cockpit windows with the window wipers printed on. Now, from the cockpit section itself, we can then move on to the engine nacelles. They have been kept in all white, but do have the silver leading edge, some safety markings, and the Condor branding printed on, looking quite lovely in my opinion. But also the physical detailing of these engines is actually rather nice, especially here from the front. Very, very nice. You can see the engine fan blades. Now, moving on from the engine nacelles, we should also take a closer look at the wings, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flap slats and spoilers carved out quite nicely, although they are slightly drowned away by the grey paint. But we do have different shades of grey paint on the wing, making them look quite lovely. And we also have the markings as to where to walk on the wing, and even that indicated in writing, which is lovely. Now, where the physical detailing on the top side maybe wasn't as sharp as I would have liked to, it is very nicely done here on the underside of the wing. And then, of course, the A321-200 of Condor also comes with winglets, and I think NG Models has done a very nice job with them as well, both in physical detailing and in print. Now, before we take a look at the remaining details, there is a quick message from our sponsor today. Are you looking for new Scale 400 models? Then look no further, the FMB shop has got you covered. With NG Models, JC Wings and Gemini Jets, the FMB shop has got some of the best models in the business. And even better, with day one discounts, pre-order discounts, and every now and then special offers, and with what I like to call prices like in the good old days, the FMB shop website and Instagram account are always worth a look. They do, of course, also have Scale 500 and 200 on offer. And don't forget, Christmas is just around the corner, so find your next favorite aircraft model or the best Christmas present of this year by following the links in the video description below. Now when we look at the landing gear, we can see this is made entirely out of metal, except of course for the wheels themselves, they are made out of plastic. We have wheel caps, which looks great, and in general I think NG Models has done a pretty solid job with the landing gear. The front landing gear even has some lovely printed details, which is nice, and a feature that personally I don't really care about, but I know many collectors do: the wheels are rolling. On the belly of the aircraft we can find more printed details relating to the landing gear, so that's great, but unfortunately also a hole in the fuselage for a stand which is not included with this aircraft model, which makes me question the decision to add this in the first place. But we have many more lovely details here on the belly of the aircraft, from printed details to lovely physical antennas. But that's not all, because when we look at the top of the fuselage, we also here find an array of various physical antennas and some printed details. Actually, for me, the most interesting part here is the fact that the set dome that the aircraft in real life does have at the middle section of the fuselage, well, NG Models has added this as a printed detail. And then finally, we should also not forget to mention the doors to the cargo compartments that have been printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A321-200 in the green standard livery of Condor from NG Models in scale 1 to 400. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, if you like the Condor livery or not, that's of course a very personal question. Now, I, for once, am not a huge fan of it, but what I cannot deny is that NG Models has done a solid job when it comes to the print quality and executing the new standard livery of Condor here on this aircraft model in scale 400. When it comes to the physical detailing, I think NG Models is solid as a rock with this A321. I think the mold is brilliant. I mean, hey, I'm coming from the scale 500 market where we get these terrible molds for the A321 from Harper Wings, so this is just, I mean, awesome in my books. But they have made some interesting choices, I think. For instance, they have chosen like this very visible physical detailing on the stabilizers, and I mean, I think it's maybe a little bit over the top because the real aircraft, I mean, kind of has these kind of elements, but they're definitely not as visible as here. On the other hand, you also have to zoom in quite a bit to really see it. And I kind of like that they try to give the stabilizers a little bit more life, so it's not just a flat surface. So yeah, I mean, I maybe a bit much, but I kind of like it. And then we have the decision of not adding a set dome, but reverting to a print. And this is basically what a set Harper should have done in scale 500. Now, I can see an argument saying that scale 400 aircraft models are bigger, and therefore NG Models should have attempted to add a set dome here as a physical detailing, but I'm actually quite happy with the print. And to be honest, not just with the print, but the entire model, which is also why I would say that this model is definitely worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, and if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, thanks so much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.